What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii and I'm back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, I'm giving you guys the rundown of the brand new characters that have just been added to Global's character log, which does confirm that the next batch of characters to be released is going to be the Shiki batch for the upcoming treasure map NL. So for this Sugo-Fest batch, there is a new legend, 2 new rare recruits, and 2 new treasure map rare recruit characters. They were all added to our character log. And additionally, treasure map NL was also added to the log at the same time, so we can expect this treasure map Sugo-Fest to be arriving over the next week or so. There is actually no confirmed date for the treasure map and /or for this Sugo-Fest yet. The banner actually hasn't been added into the game yet, so we can't actually see what the whole Sugo-Fest is about. But in this video, as I said, I'm going to be giving you guys the rundown of all of the brand new characters to be expecting in this Sugo-Fest batch. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. First of all, we have the first treasure map rare recruit character, which is going to be Garnfor. Now, typically, a character like this should be guaranteed on the second multi of the Sugo-Fest. That is just our preemptive sort of thinking about this specific character. Should be guaranteed on the second multi of the Sugo-Fest. So let's go ahead and break him down. So he is an int striker character, no secondary class, and his max stats, you can see there, are pretty average. But remember, because he is a treasure map rare recruit unit, inside the treasure map itself, he will be like further boosted with his statistics, which overall makes him a bit stronger. He has 20 cost and 4 socket spots. Likely you'll be able to pull him and he'll come with max sockets. That's hopefully what's going to happen. Now, his captain effect isn't the greatest, being an int attack and HP booster, 1.5 attack, 1.2 health. So you know, sometimes you want to try and build a point boosting team with him as the captain. It's going to be very, very hard with a captain ability as low multiplier as this, but his special ability is insanely useful, and not even just for treasure map. His special ability is going to be useful for just other pieces of content on One Piece Treasure Cruise. Now, it's a 12 turn cooldown, which is quite fair for what he does. He reduces your crew's attack down and bind duration by 3 turns, and he makes your bottom slots have matching orbs, which is actually pretty good. That's a really nice special ability to have. I actually have had a preemptive look at the upcoming treasure map NL, and this specific special ability is extremely useful for stage 6 of the NL fight, because I believe he does give you 3 turns of attack down, and it might be like 3 or 4 turns of bind. So having a special ability like this enables you to remove all of the different debuffs that NL puts on your crew on stage 6 of the fight. So having access to a character like this is going to make that fight much easier. Moving on now to the secondary treasure map rare recruit character, which is going to be a brand new Monkey D. Luffy. This character is a Dex striker fighter character. As you can see, his stats there, as I said before, he's going to have much more increased statistics inside the treasure map, likely having like 2.5 times stats. So he's going to be hitting very, very hard. 20 cost and 4 socket spots for this character. His captain effect is going to be a 1.75 times striker captain. So this one is a little bit easier to build teams for inside the treasure map, especially if you're in East Blue and you get a character like this. Like, you can just go ahead and destroy content with a captain ability like that, because it is so easy and you can get so many more points with a character like this. But his special ability, once again, is another very, very useful special. Maxing out at 13 turns, he reduces enemy defense by 100% and reduces enemy barriers for 1 turn. So just straight off the bat, that is fantastic. But on top of this, he also has an added effect depending on your treasure map level. Now, I've never really been a fan of characters that have a boost only in treasure maps, because it makes it more of a cash grab, but at least, you know, these characters will be kind of boosted in future maps, which does make them a little bit more desirable. But I think it is definitely a humongous cash grab to have specials like this. But he will boost the attack of Dex, quick, and int characters depending on your treasure map level. So I believe it's between levels 1 and 10, he gives them a 1.75 times type boost, and then between 11 and 20, he gives them a 2 times type boost, and then any navigation level above 21 is going to be a 2.25 times attack boost to Dex, quick, and int. And as you guessed, every single character in this batch is either Dex, quick, or int. So obviously all of these characters that we are talking about in this video work together very, very well, and it is the optimal team for clearing treasure map NL. Not only just easier, but to give you, you know, a majority of the points. Moving on now to the first of the actual Rare Recruit batch. Now, every single character that we talk about from here on out will be available in every other Sugo-Fest in the future. The Ganfor and Luffy will obviously not be available in future Sugo-Fest. So here we have Scarlet. So Scarlet is an int fighter powerhouse character. Max level at level 99 with limit break is 2880 HP, 1532 attack, 162 recovery. So pretty stock standard for a limit broken Rare Recruit character. 30 cost and 5 socket spots once you limit break this character, only has 4 prior to the limit break. The captain effect of this character will boost the attack of fighter and powerhouse characters by 3.25 after good, great, and then perfect. Actually could be used in some content, but obviously not the best captain effect in the game. But in terms of Rare Recruit characters, typically they have pretty mundane captain effects. This actually is pretty interesting, being a 3.25 boost for the last 3 characters, but still a captain effect that you really shouldn't be using in normal play. A special ability though will max at 13 turns with the limit break. States that if your HP is below 10% when you use the special, you will go ahead and boost orbs by 2 times for 1 turn. So this is a fantastic ability, guaranteed 2 times orb boost is fantastic, so definitely could see a lot of use depending on the team that you're running this character on. And they have an added effect stating that if your captain is a driven character, going to reduce enemy attack up and rage and end of turn damage or end of turn percent cut by 5 turns. Now, typically removing enemy debuffs like attack up and rage and end of turn damage or percent cut, you don't really need to do that often. Only if the end of turn damage is extremely significant or their attack up is extremely significant and there's no way around it, then you would want to bring someone like that. But so far from what I've seen and from my recent memory, there hasn't been any time you would actually need to remove enemy attack up and rage or end of turn damage. So I don't really see a point in that particular end of the special, but being below 10% to get a 2 times orb boost is definitely a really nice effect. Now this character does have a couple sailor abilities, but I didn't really make a chart for them because they're very mundane, very boring. They're just giving them stat boosts depending on if it's the last to attack in the chain, I do believe, and boosting either fighter or powerhouse characters' attack. So nothing really that major in terms of this character's crewmate abilities. Moving on to the last of the regular Rare Recruit characters, we have Dr. Indigo, who is a Dex shooter-driven character, max level 99 with limit break, 2240 HP, 1333 attack and 482 recovery. I feel like the stats are definitely on the lower end of the spectrum here. For a limit broken Rare Recruit, definitely pretty low HP and attack. This character has 30 cost and 5 socket spots after limit break and 4 prior to the limit break. This character's captain effect will boost shooter characters' attack by 2.5 and give them a 1.25 times recovery boost. Again, pretty boring captain effect, nothing too major there. But this character's special ability starts at 21 turns, maxes at 15 or 14 with limit break, will state that if your HP is below 10%, it will recover all of your missing HP. That is actually a pretty interesting effect because Legend Shiki does have an effect where you reduce your HP by a very significant margin, and having a character like this allows you to recover all the way back up to full. So I do like that particular side of the special. It's actually pretty useful and can be used in a lot of different teams. Now, this character also has a secondary effect, once again like Scarlet, where if your captain is a driven character, you will remove all forms of poison and blindness on your crew and reduce damage taken by 50% for the next 3 turns. Again, that's actually a pretty good special ability. Like, this character all round has a pretty decent set of special effects. However, there isn't really too many situations where you would need to remove blindness, poison, and recover all of your missing HP, but the situation might arise for you and this character will fit that bill perfectly. Obviously, this character is going to be useful in the fight against NL. However, I feel like if there is one character to replace on the team against NL, it probably is this character, because this character does not remove any particular debuff on the enemy, and it doesn't really provide much of a boost to your crew. It just provides a little bit of healing, or it could be a lot of healing depending on your crew. Gets rid of poison and blindness. You can get around blindness if you just tap, if you're just good at the game, I guess, and you can remove all forms of poison. Typically, if you kill the enemy before the poison activates, you're going to be good anyway. So I feel like this character is just okay, but a very niche special that you might be able to use in certain pieces of content. almost forgot about this character's crewmate abilities. So he has 2 crewmate abilities. The first one will reduce his own special bind by 3 turns, which is pretty decent, and his secondary one through limit break will state that if your captain is driven, he reduces everyone's paralysis by 1 turn. That is actually a very, very useful effect, and I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head, but that might be useful for the treasure map NL. But again, that is actually a pretty good set of crewmate abilities. It's just the fact that his special effect is quite niche and won't be needed in too many pieces of content. Alright, so now we get to the big boy himself, Legend Shiki, the legendary pirate aptly named. This character is a quick driven striker character, and at max level, at level 99 with his limit break, he has 4018 health, 1738 attack, and 401 recovery. So yes, across the board, fantastic statistics. Obviously 55 cost and 5 socket spots. Now his captain effect, this is where things get interesting with this character. Now this character is quite controversial when he first came out because everyone had been wanting a Legend Shiki for an extremely long time, but a lot of people were let down with his captain effect with just how plain and simple it really is. So let's go ahead and break it down. So first of all, he's going to boost the attack of Dex, Quick, and Int characters by 2.75 times and give them a 1.35 HP boost. So fair enough, boosting 3 separate colors and also giving them that pretty decent 1.35 health boost. That actually will add up to a lot, especially if you're running double Shiki and then you add a ship on top of that. Yeah, this character will be boosting your crew's health by a very significant margin. Like, you'll have upwards of like 40,000 plus 50,000, maybe 60,000, even with treasure map boosts applied on top of that. You know, you're going to be getting, you know, probably 80,000 HP on treasure map, which is pretty insane when you think about it. That's a lot of HP. And on top of that, he will boost their attack by 4 times instead after you hit in the chain of Dex, Int, and then a Quick character that are at least good or better. So this is where things get interesting with this character, and this is why a lot of people typically don't use this character, is because he is extremely straightforward and very plain, very simple, and is not very unique in many ways. He is very strong though. A 4 times captain effect is actually, you know, it's pretty insane. You can't take that away from a character like Shiki, but it's the fact that it's so boring. You know, you only have 3 separate colors and you have to hit in a very specific order in order for you to actually get your high attack boost. Now, in the past, whenever they've done this, a lot of people often just don't use the character because they very much dislike the way that characters like this are structured, namely like V2 Kuzan, where you have to hit in the order of Sai Quick in order to get your high attack boost. Now that does not take away from Sai Kuzan, because people will still use him because his base multiply is much better, and in my opinion, I do believe that Kuzan's special ability is way better as well, just as a direct comparison to this character. But yeah, just the fact that you have to hit in that set, in that actual color order of those 3 specific colors, is what makes his characters really, really annoying. So you have to have a Dex, an Int, and a Quick character. Obviously, you're going to have this guy as your Quick character, but that means that if you're running this guy as your captain, you need to at least have 1 Dex and 1 Int character when you're running content, which is quite a drawback to building Shiki teams, honestly. But on top of this, he also makes recovery and tandem have matching slot effects for your entire crew, so that's a nice added bonus that they do provide here, giving you 2 of the 7 natural orbs is beneficial. And you never know, you might have characters on your crew that also add to this as well, giving you more matching orbs. So, you know, honestly, as a captain, he is a good captain, but I just would prefer to use much more other characters compared to this guy as a captain. That's just my personal opinion about Legend Shiki. Now, Legend Shiki has a pretty good special ability too, starting off at a 19 turn cooldown, maxing at 14, and he gets 2 cooldown from his limit break, so definitely limit breaking this character is going to be well worth it. And what it does, it will go ahead and reduce your crew's health by 99%, and also will go ahead and deal 30 times the amount of HP that was subtracted in non-type damage to all enemies. So this is very reminiscent of the old school strong-willed Ace Legend, who would cut your health by 40% and then deal, I believe it was 15 times the amount of HP subtracted. So this character reduces your health by more and also has a higher or double the multiplier compared to strong-willed Ace. So this character will do insane amounts of damage just with this special ability alone. But the great thing about this is that he doesn't only just do damage, he also also has the added effect of changing all of your crew slots, including block, which is the big key thing here, into recovery. So the fact that you can always get around block orbs with this character, which is fantastic, and the fact that he gives you a full board of recovery orbs, obviously you can use them to heal back up, or you will basically just have them as a full board of matching orbs. So with this guy, your captain, you are basically getting a massive AoE damage hit to all enemies, as well as getting a full board of matching orbs that goes through block orbs. So for his special ability, works extremely well with his captain, and as we saw before with Dr. Indigo, had a special ability when if you are below 10%, he fully heals your crew. So that is fantastic that you have a character like Dr. Indigo at your disposal for a character like Shiki. But honestly, I still feel like I would much rather use something else as a captain compared to something like this. But as a sub, there aren't too many instances where you could use this. You'd have to run it on a team that has a pretty high HP pool. So if you are going to run him just for his special, you probably should just be running him as a captain anyway. But I can't think of too many instances off the top of my head where I would want to run this guy as a sub on any specific team. But as a captain, he is quite straightforward, but he is able to beat a lot of pieces of content in the game. Now, before we end this video, he has two separate crewmate abilities. The first one stating that he will make his own Dex, Recovery, and Tandem be beneficial for himself. So as a sub, 3 of the 7 natural orbs will be counted as beneficial. Well, actually 4 if you count the quick orbs themselves. So, and he will not have a negative orb as well, because Dex will be counted as beneficial. So as a sub, he's going to be getting a lot of matching orbs. Actually quite interesting, because Legend Guild Tesoro also had a very similar crewmate effect where all of these random orbs will be counted as beneficial when he's a sub. So it's quite interesting that Shiki has a very similar effect to that as well. And his secondary one will state that he is immune to special bind, which is actually quite nice. So as a sub, you can always get his special to be activated, which can be quite nice. But as again, I'm not really too sure on what type of teams you would want to run this particular special ability on, but the option is there if you do choose to do so. So that is going to conclude this video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.